Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Breakthrough Challenge. Yesterday, I miscalculated, so today is actually day 44. So tomorrow is when we get halfway through the challenge. Last week, we were speaking about clarity. How do you leverage clarity to enable you to take action in the areas where you will have the most impact in your life and where you're most likely to build onto what you've already done before than always finding yourself starting new projects, being distracted by new opportunities. Essentially, we were speaking about how can you structure your life so that every next step you take is guided not by the opportunities that surround you, but by the vision that you have embraced within you. That was last week, speaking about clarity, which I believe is the single most important advantage that you can have in whichever market or business or discipline or industry you venture into. And this week, we have focused our energy speaking about necessity. Necessity is the force that pushes you to take action even when you don't feel like it. The question is, what is it that is compelling enough that is going to necessitate you taking action even when you don't feel ready, even when you don't feel prepared, even when you don't feel capable? What is it that will necessitate you taking risks, even in places where ordinarily you wouldn't take risks? What is it that will necessitate you staying at it longer, persisting despite distractions and obstacles, pulling through the discomfort and the pain in pursuit of a vision you believe in? That is what necessity is about. Yesterday, we covered a concept that is very simple, but extremely powerful. We were speaking about the power of anticipation. I just want to give you that example again. Anticipation. Anticipation is right at the peak of welcoming a possibility. When you anticipate, you welcome in the present moment a possibility of tomorrow. You welcome right now. You essentially behave as though what is going to happen tomorrow is here today. You anticipate it to the point that you can almost touch it. Remember, we used the 4 words, 4 levels. One level is wishing. Wishing you could have a skill, which means you somehow believe that the chances of you getting this skill is impossible. That's why that proverb of if beggars, if was it wishes were beggars, it's you make yourself a beggar where you have essentially almost disqualified yourself. So when you're wishing for this skill, you are essentially saying, I don't think I have what it takes. But there is hoping that you can have this skill. When you hope, you put the power in external circumstances, in external actors, that maybe some benevolent person will come along and give you an opportunity or train you or teach you how to perform this skill. So wishing is you have already given up, essentially. Hoping is maybe somebody will come along. Expecting is more positive, but still passive. You expect that you will gain the skill. Maybe you expect that you will gain the skill if you show up. You expect if the economy is okay, if the company stays long enough, if customers show up. You still have strong elements of what you want, the skill you want, for example, reliant on people outside you. But when you anticipate, I anticipate that I'm going to be a better speaker than I am today. I anticipate that I'm going to be a better writer. I anticipate that I'm going to be on TV. I anticipate that I'm going to run a business. I anticipate that I'm going to have a family. When you anticipate, you make real the possibilities of tomorrow here right now. You can almost see it right now. You speak of it, you think of it, you write about it, you visualize about it as though it is going to happen. And we said when you anticipate, when you embrace the power of anticipation, it causes you to prepare. Like I gave you an example yesterday. If I expect visitors tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow is even close, I expect visitors 3 weeks from today. They may not come. It doesn't seem like it's real. But 1 hour to the arrival of the visitors, I am no longer expecting visitors. I am anticipating visitors. And I hope you feel the difference in energy between those two words. Because when you anticipate something, you move from being interested to being committed. 1 hour before my guests arrive in my house, if you call me to interest me in something else, I will tell you, I'm sorry, I won't be able to show up because I have a commitment. I have a commitment to take care, to meet and welcome and entertain my visitors or my guests who are coming. Anticipation helps you. The more I learn to tap into the power of anticipation, the easier it is for me to move from being interested. I am no longer interested in a great future. I am no longer interested in learning the skills I need. I am committed to learning those skills. That's because anticipation causes me to start preparing today. Anticipation makes real the possibilities of tomorrow right now, such that I start acting as though I am heading in that direction. And this is what people call a fake it till you make it. It's I generally don't agree with the sentiment that that creates, because faking it means that it doesn't allow you to see what it really means. I usually think of it as make it in advance, make it in possibilities, even if you haven't made it in reality. Make it in possibility. In other words, the emotion I will experience when I win is free. I can start practicing that emotion now and tapping the energy of that emotion to take the actions I need to take today. In other words, if it's faking the emotions, but the emotion is real, then I'm okay with that. Making real the experience that you will have. Because sometimes we get so absorbed in waiting for the victory that we forget to enjoy the journey. Whenever I'm preparing a speech, especially those speeches where I'm stuck, this is one of the things I usually do. So I structure out the speech, and then I have parts of the speech that I just decide to enjoy. I'm like, I don't know how the whole speech is going to come out, but I'm going to have fun with this part. And the parts that I have fun with, I go out of the way figuring out what kind of ingredients can I put in this place that will make it more insightful or more humorous, so that I enjoy just changing that part, just playing with that part, so that when I am on the stage presenting the speech, my audience would end up connecting with a certain part of the speech, but they don't realize that they probably laughed or enjoyed or connected with that speech, because that is the one part when I'm presenting the speech, when I get to that part, I settle down because I know I am home right now. This is a part, I have enjoyed that part, that it's impossible for me to present that part while feeling anxious. The emotion I was anticipating to experience on the stage when presenting that part of the speech, I have already experienced it. And that's because I made the presentation of the speech so real, I was no longer hoping to present it. I was no longer wishing that I would present it. I was not just expecting that I would. I was anticipating. I was anticipating that on the stage, I will come to this second paragraph, and this is how I would like to feel when I'm presenting this speech. Which enables, because a lot of the times when I'm on the stage, I present content that has a heavy emotional component, and then I have learning lessons, and I try put in a little bit of humor. That's naturally how I'm wired to present. I used to run away from tackling emotionally heavy topics until I realized that this is the one thing that I find myself naturally drawn to. And so I just had to learn how to do it differently. How do you take the power of anticipation to help you deal with the discomfort that you face every day? The discomfort you face when you are about to make a presentation, when you're about to go for an interview, when you are about to have a difficult conversation, what we call crucial conversation. When you look at the goals that we have set before during the previous sessions, where do you need to build anticipation? Where do you need to build anticipation? For example, Elena, in your writing, where do you need to build anticipation? Before you get home, you already have the topic in mind, and you make real the emotion of writing even before you get home, so that you know that I don't know how the rest of the article will go, but the first 5 lines I'm going to write, I am going to enjoy writing those lines. Judith, how do you make learning software like R? How do you create anticipation to each of the sessions when you are showing up? How do you make the anticipation of you becoming a proficient R utilizer so real right now that when you are opening that software, you look at all the components, you are like, I don't yet know these parts, but I'm getting ready for this part. I'm going to know these parts, such that you make the possibility, that possibility is not here right now. But you make it real right now. It's like you go out to the future and pull that reality of the future and bring it here. Because if that reality is here, then nothing is going to stop you. When I left the hospital today, it was around 2:35 thereabout, I'm heading straight home to change, brush my teeth, and jump into the shower and head straight down here. I am not wishing that I could come and do this session. I am not hoping, I'm not expecting, I am anticipating, so that in my mind, I am reviewing everything we have done and asking myself, are we going at the right rhythm? Are we going at the right direction? Are we focusing on what's practical? Are we spending enough time on the key ingredients to make sure that we all buy into those key ingredients and learn how to apply them? Are we running at a pace that we have at least most of the people moving with us at almost the same rate so that we can all head in the same direction? Am I listening enough to figure out what needs we have shared that we can address together, so that I don't stick with the outline that I already made for the 90 days and start being more flexible to accommodate, expand some sessions, cut some sessions to give more room to other components? I am always in preparation mode, and that's because I am anticipating the next session. I'm anticipating the remaining 3 days of this session, and I have already outlined what those sessions specifically are going to be in terms of adjusting them from what I had already scheduled to fit with what we have now. Anticipation, like we said yesterday, anticipation causes you to prepare. Anticipation causes you to value today. Anticipation causes you to generate good ideas. And I read something yesterday from Seth Godin, that when we are truthful to ourselves, if we have many good ideas, it also means we have so many bad ideas, which means the pathway to good ideas is to come out with so many bad ideas. And then eventually you're able to filter down to good ideas. Anticipation helps me, helps you prepare. It helps us value today. It helps us come up with good ideas. It also helps us find ways to serve other people, because our skills, our gifts, our impact, our legacy is going to relate to how we impact other people's lives. And every time we interact with another person and we do it with a higher level of awareness, we create a platform on which we will build our competence in whatever skills, whatever skill area we are looking at. So I wanted us to just reiterate those components from yesterday, because this is crucial. I feel this is probably one of those single standout ingredients of this week on necessity that you can carry forward. I want you to just play in your mind your key goal. Your key goal. And perhaps I hadn't clarified this. So from where we started setting goals, perhaps I didn't make this as clear as I should have, that every one of us, at every point in your life, there must be one overarching goal. There must be the one goal that if you woke up one day and you only performed activities that relate to one goal, there is the one goal that overarches over everything else. And so whenever I ask you to play in your mind with a specific one, the main goal, I'm hoping that it's the same main goal. And that is how you remain steady and stable despite what happens around you. When you have a main goal, when you have a major goal, it gives you the power to say no. Because what do we end up saying no to? We say no to new opportunities. We say no to new opportunities when they are not aligned with our long-term vision. But if you don't have a long-term vision, You are the person who is going to start trading in Bitcoins today. Next week, you start farming quail. The week after, you start farming berries and mushrooms. You keep running from one opportunity to another opportunity to another opportunity. In the end, you do not develop expertise in any area. You do not develop depth in any area. You do not create a reputation in an area. You never get yourself to even respect your own focus, because you're not consistent, you're not focused, you are scattered everywhere. You are a victim of opportunity. Opportunity is a good thing, but opportunity that does not fit with my vision doesn't fit, period. I have come in, since I came to this country, the US, I have come across a ton of opportunities, everything from all sorts of businesses. I stayed in a place where literally there was no car wash nearby. And looking at how much it was going to cost me to, start up a car wash, it seemed, in terms financially, it seemed like, this is something that I can actually do. But the other costs are always hidden in terms of time, attention, everything else that will come with it. So that if I was just pursuing opportunity, I would run and start that business. I do not mean that starting a new business is a bad idea. Where does it fit in your overall vision? Because every opportunity is going to cost you. Have you calculated the cost? Is this cost meaningful enough for you to make the sacrifices you have to make in your long-term vision? Does this new opportunity contribute, or does it distract you? How do you anticipate with such clarity when you are thinking about your biggest goal, your overarching goal, so that it puts you on track, on your road, where you are not going to stop just because there is beautiful or glorious activity happening? You are on your track. You have anticipated it with such conviction that consistency and self-discipline and self-leadership are automatic. You're going to stay on this track. Because the reason why we show up less than we are capable of most of the time is because we do not see the end picture with sufficient clarity. The final picture, we do not see it. We do not see it with the energy that would manifest if we had achieved it. That is the disconnect. The disconnect is that I have glorious goals, but I do not have an emotion that matches the energy of those goals. And that's because I am dealing with a dead picture now, hoping that I can use the dead picture to create a living reality. And that's why anticipation becomes an amazing active force, because it allows you to reach out to that future reality and pull the reality, the energy of that future reality into the present moment, so that you transition from possibility to essentially experiencing components of that reality right now. So I would like you again to play with the goal, your overarching goal, like your main goal right now. And remember, this is all about anticipation. Playing with that goal. When people tell you to visualize, sometimes we visualize and we visualize a dead picture. If I visualize a dead picture that is not accompanied with the energy that will manifest when I get to that vision, then there's no difference. I am dealing with I have a still picture here that I'm trying to use to create an active, moving and living and pulsating reality in future. Take your key goal in mind, right? Take your key goal in mind. When you think about this goal, when you think about it, when you try to immerse yourself in this goal, and this is not always easy for all of us, but try it best as you can where you are right now. When you think about this goal, right, what would it make you feel? What would it make you feel to accomplish this goal? If this goal, and I'm hoping that you have one of your bigger, beautiful, overarching goals, if this goal was a reality today, what would it make you feel? What emotions would it make you feel? You could use the LIFE format. What kind of, if this goal was accomplished, you accomplish this goal and God takes you away from this world, What kind of legacy will you have left behind as a result of this goal? What kind of impact would you have? But today we are focusing on the F and E. What kind of freedom would you experience? And that can seem hazy, but energy, what level of energy would you experience? Legacy, impact, but focusing today primarily on those two with regards to this exercise. What level of freedom would it give you? Because we are always seeking for more freedom for us to determine our own reality. But most importantly, the most practical of these four is energy. What level of energy would it give you? Could you write down a number on a scale of 1 to 10? If this goal was accomplished today, what level of energy would it bring into your life? If that goal is going to bring to you a 4 or a 5 or a 6, there is a big likelihood that you have not been able to visualize the eventual reality strongly enough to pull it and affect the current possibilities in a way that empowers you to take action no matter what challenge you face right now. I would like us to share one, like what is the one overarching goal? And I know that we have stepped into that realm right now, almost out of nowhere. That is intentional. Just because I am presuming that every one of you, except for Patricia who joined us today, every one of you, you've written your goals today when you woke up, that the one thing that you did is write your goals. Maybe Judith, you may not already have had enough time, or maybe you've already done it. What you did was write your goals, and that your goals are clear on an ongoing basis. And by you sharing with us from time to time what your key goals are, especially your overarching goal, you keep reinforcing it. So for now, you'll just share with us what is, and there's no explanation, just my overarching goal or my number one goal or my biggest goal right now is state the goal. We go around, starting with Elena.
My overarching goal is becoming an emerging markets business growth consultant specializing in opportunity identification.
Fantastic.
If I accomplish the goal today, I would get an energy level of 8 out of 10.
Wow, great. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Elena.
Do I need to justify that?
No, you don't need to. You're just stating the facts as they are. The rest of it is internal work. You will keep doing the internal work and figuring out how what next for you. James, are you back? What's your overarching goal? What would it give you? We can't hear you, James. Let's go, James, as you get ready. Judith, what's your overarching goal?
My overarching goal is to perfect my skills in R, programming language, and learning this or perfecting the skill will help me in and will set me apart to progress in my career, and I'll be ready for my next move in career.
Wow. Yeah, it's I know R. I didn't complete the whole process, but I know enough about R to know that it's only a minority of the people in your field that are going to push themselves to learn it, and definitely that will set you apart. What will it give you in terms of energy, apart from setting you apart?
I would give myself 8 out of 10.
Wonderful. Thank you, Judith. Diba, do you have an overarching goal? What would it give you?
Yes, thank you, Job. Good afternoon to everyone. My overarching goal. I'm assuming I'm yet to really take time to think about this, but right now my overarching goal is not one of the 10 goals I've been writing every morning.
Yeah.
It's the main goal that all these 10 goals build up to. And so for me, that is where I grow to a level where I am a well-rounded researcher and infectious disease specialist, working with local communities, implementing local interventions within within communities. So what I will get with that kind of, if I reach to such a level, what I will probably kind of energy I'll get from that will be, I can say, should be between 8 and 9. Yeah, yeah.
Great. Thank you, Diba. James, I see you have two accounts now. I'm suspecting you're having challenges with audio. Able to continue?
Yes. I hope I'm back now.
Yes, you are.
This is when the challenge is so good you log in on two devices for twice the impact. Well, my overarching goal at the moment is to become a consistent learner, to get myself to study more constantly, and the amount of energy, the level of energy that would give me on a scale of 1 to 10 would be a 9.
Thank you, James. Of everyone on this call, if you are one person who has sustained an identity-driven goal, which means it's not contingent on the outcome. It's contingent on the behaviors you have to put in to get to the goal. I hope that makes sense to everyone. And I think that makes the goal tangible, because I can figure out right now by listening to you whether or not you are geared towards measuring what you put in. I hope this makes sense. That your goal is identity driven, and that's one nature of goals that I would recommend, that when you have a big overarching goal, that it becomes underlain by a certain identity, that if you pursue that identity, then achieving the goal becomes very easy. I remember when you started setting these goals, James, that you wanted to become proficient in certain areas of medicine, right? And so that is the outcome. Proficiency is the outcome. But when you make it an identity-driven goal, it is, who are you becoming? So James is becoming a consistent learner. If you become a consistent learner, that is an attribute of your identity you can carry to any area. You can decide to learn programming right now. You can decide to learn design. You can decide to learn anything, and you can carry that identity there. You can be in an environment where people are discussing businesses that you've never been interested in, but because you have viewed yourself as a consistent learner so many times, it becomes something that you manifest really easily. I just wanted to clarify that identity-driven goals are extremely powerful, because an identity-driven goal makes it very easy for you to pull a future reality to the present possibilities. You take, because it doesn't cost you anything to become a consistent learner right now. James, you don't have to have mastered nephrology or oncology for you to be a consistent learner, but you can manifest that attribute right now, today, on the topic you are reading today, which is it's a microcosm of the whole that you want to eventually learn. So thank you, James, for sharing, and welcome back. Sorry about those challenges you're having with the devices. So Brainy, I saw you texted something. Let me just take a quick look what you texted. All right. Are you unable to contribute even by audio, Brainy?
Oh no, I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just don't know what the question is, because I've been off like.
Oh, okay. No. So the question is, I can clarify so that everybody has it again. The question is, so today we are playing with the power of anticipation. And right. I first wanted, before I cover some components for today, I wanted to make sure that everybody has in mind, like, just get everybody to think about their goals. So think about your overarching goal, right?
Okay.
When you think about your overarching goal with regards to anticipating it fulfilled, this goal has been achieved, what level of energy would it give you? In other words, and that's not the only question. So what would it look like? What would it feel like as a result? What level of freedom would it give you? What level of energy would it give you at that endpoint? Because when that is clear, then we don't have to wait for the goal to be accomplished to experience what it will give you. What the goal will give me, I can access it today, right now. That's why we are doing that. So as you continue reflecting, let's hear from Rumbi.
Okay.
Rumbi Zai, are you on?
Hello.
Yes, Rumbi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Move closer to your device or phone.
Oh, okay. All right. So my goal is to be the first point of reference for health and weight management coaching in Africa using African and traditional foods. So if I reach this, it will give me an energy of 8 out of 10. And it will also help me to be able to research more about the African foods and how we can use them in a wide variety of platforms.
Wow, great. I know, knowing your journey, Rumbi, I know how much you've invested on this pathway. This is that is a field that has a lot that still, I mean, it's essentially a virgin field in Africa. So go for it, Rumbi. Patricia, this is your first time on the call. I would like to welcome you to share.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My goal is to become an investment professional through research and financial analysis. If I get there, I'll have an energy of 9/10. And that one is just because of the uncertainty of everything eventually becomes boring at some point. So it's just a worry, but yeah, 9/10.
Wow. Yeah, great. Thank you and welcome to the challenge. The community you've joined, we've been with these guys for, today is 44 days down the line. So thank you for joining us. Brainy, you feel like ready to share?
Okay, let me give it a shot, but I wasn't ready because I think you're also breaking up when you were talking. All right, anyway, my main goal is to run a successful online Chinese course, mainly because one is I want to bridge the gap between the Asian culture and African culture, because there is a lot of misconception when it comes to Africa and Asia. And then two, the reason why I came up with that is where we are in the world right now, where the economy is headed. In terms of languages, English is not going to be much needed language in the world. I mean, after some times, Chinese is going to be, because China is way moving to be like a super powerful economy. And for me to get that is going to give me self-discipline and confidence. And so I'm committed to practice self-discipline, stay focused, and seek clarity in everything. That's all.
Thank you, Brainy. Brainy, it's I couldn't emphasize more how uniquely placed you are to have proficiency in Chinese right now. I could give a lecture for 3 hours how having an extra language, especially when it's such a unique language, it gives you a massive advantages. I believe everyone on the call, it's if you learned the next 5 to 6 years, if you learned a new language and really learned it well, especially a language that has a big population behind it, there are opportunities you will access. in 10 years, your income must be at least 1.5 times what it could have been. And which is why I'm learning Spanish right now, because I'm in a country where Spanish is spoken really, really widely. And I see people being hired to, like physicians being hired to go work in California, Florida, and they're getting almost a third of income extra just because of having that extra language, right? So everyone, it's the when you think about your goal and what energy it would give you, remember we are speaking about necessity this week. And I started off yesterday by saying that one thing we are assured of in the course of 1 month, there are days you will wake up and you don't feel like doing anything. There are weekends when you are free, but you don't feel like doing anything. There are afternoons when you have 2-3 hours in your hands, but you don't feel like doing anything. The question is, what is going to win? Is it the necessity to take action, or is it the feeling of the present moment? And that is why we are speaking about necessity, because unless necessity becomes the compelling force, the overarching force, then we are going to become subject to the emotions around us. When everybody feels lazy or bored, you also feel lazy and bored. This year, we have already lost enough time. We've already lost enough of the year for us to continue wasting time. Yet we believe that we will have these visions that are going to move us to where we want to go. We've already lost enough time. When you think about your now and your 65, the time in between is not, if it's 20 or 25 or 28 or 30 years, it's not 30 years, it's not 35 years. It is only the years you will use. You didn't have, between Monday and today, Friday, you didn't have 5 days. You only had the days you used. You didn't have 24 hours each of these days. Today, since morning up to where you are right now, you haven't had 7 or 8 days. You only have had the hours you used. The rest of the hours get wasted. And generally, for an average person, more time is wasted than is used, right? You've probably had a little bit of time to practice your social media skills, which won't necessarily take you to where you want unless you are running a business on social media. And that's just because we live in an environment that trains us to find ways to soothe. We soothe with food, we soothe with distractions. We are not always moving in the direction that we have to go. So how would you ensure that you are ready for tomorrow, so that when tomorrow comes, you are taking action based on necessity rather than emotion? You're not doing what's easy and what's quick and what's convenient. You're doing what's necessary. Even if it's inconvenient and even if it's hard, you know that it is necessary. And that's why we are speaking about necessity. So I wanted us to just look at the power of preparation. I'll just give you a few points. And these are probably things that you can, find anywhere else. But when we speak about something together here, I believe in what we call the super conscious mind, where when you come together, and I think that's what the Bible means, that when 2 or 3 are gathered, when we come together, we create something together. We essentially agree on the ideas we are discussing. And that allows us to buy into the ideas in a way that if you just read it on your own, you wouldn't. That's the power of us meeting every day. And I don't know about you, but when was that? Was that Tuesday when I was not able to show up because I got held up in the hospital for too long? It's when we miss a day for me. So I had to come in and sit down and do like a 20-minute presentation as though I was sharing this content with other people, because that allows my mind to plug into this mind that we've been sharing, where we've been placing these ideas. It's like we've created a vault that contains all this information. So doing that on that day allowed me to plug in and feel that I'm not breaking the momentum. That's why it's 90 days, so that I keep plugging in, day out. So let's speak about preparation. Preparation is what makes it easy for you to plug into necessity. Because remember we said yesterday, anticipation causes you to prepare. It causes you to value today. So preparation gets us ready to make the most of what's coming. So what does preparation give us? Number one, preparation harnesses your resources. Preparation, it enables you to harness your resources well. It enables you to harness your skills, to harness your creativity, harness your opportunities, harness your energy, harness your time well. Because you usually hear this definition that luck equals to preparation plus opportunity, right? Opportunities are always available. Opportunities are all over the place. Wherever you are seated right now, if you look around you, you will see several objects. Each of those objects has is an opportunity. You can lie on that couch. You can go to the kitchen and take a cup and make coffee. Everything around you is an opportunity for you to do something. Preparation is reliant on you plugging into your vision and your goal, so that then with preparation, you pick opportunities that are aligned with your goal. And when you do that and you end up being successful, people are like, oh, he is so lucky, she is so lucky. Preparation, it causes you to harness your resources well. Second thing that preparation gives you is preparation precedes opportunity. Preparation precedes opportunity. Preparation makes it easy for you to settle for opportunities that are relevant to your long-term vision. Because unfortunately, too many people try to create a long-term vision from the available opportunities, which is reverse. Here is a mistake that we all end up making at one point or another. We structure our life around our jobs rather than structuring our job around our life. What do I mean? The job activities or responsibilities related to the job end up having access to almost every part of your life, where if you have some work that flowed over from the office, you end up doing it anytime in the course of your life, rather such that there are no sacred pockets of your life that are purely dedicated to your growth and to your journey, and the job then takes the remaining time. So that you would wake up in the morning at 6:30 in the morning, and you are doing this report that relates to your job. And after you are done with this report from your job, you don't have anything else. You're like, hey, I'm free. Where are you? Right? Because your life has been structured around your job rather than your job and your opportunities being structured around your life. Preparation allows you to prioritize. That's the next point. Preparation allows you to prioritize your values. It allows you to prioritize your values, and your values will relate to what is important, what is a must, what is aligned to my vision, what is for long term. So the question is, to what extent do you prepare with your values and your goals top on your mind? So that if there is a job, if there is a business engagement, right, is this directly aligned to my long-term vision? And what component, what areas of my life is it occupying? Preparation allows you to prioritize your values. If we valued the achievement of our internal goals as intensely as we value deadlines when we are delivering a report to somebody else, our life must change. Our life must change drastically. If I pursued my priorities with the same focus and intensity I do when I have a deadline to deliver a report or deliver a product to somebody else, if I did that, if I responded to my own goals with the same intensity I respond to other people's priorities, especially bosses, my life in 5-10 years, I'd have to need a bigger, better boss, or eventually I end up becoming my own boss, because I have learned to prioritize my value. And it's by preparing myself, plugging into anticipation so much that I know that 10 years from today, I don't have to be employed. And if I'm employed, I am no longer at the level of just another producer. I am employed at a level where when I open my mouth, people write down what I am about to say because I have prepared by prioritizing my values. And we will return to that area of working on what are truly our deepest values. The next thing that preparation gives you. Preparation begins with the optimum use of today. Preparation begins with optimum use of today. We said yesterday that anticipation causes you to value today. Anticipation causes you to value today. And because you anticipate so clearly where you are going, you utilize preparation to make optimum use of today. Because if I don't make optimum use of today, then it means in the course of 1 week, I don't have today. Out of the 7 days, I don't have today. If the next day or I also don't use it, it means out of the 7 days, I only have 5 days remaining. So that at the end of the week, I might have achieved in a whole week what somebody else could possibly have accomplished in 3 or 4 hours. Preparation begins by using today optimally. The next thing that preparation will give you, preparation leads to prompt action. Preparation leads to prompt action on your highest value activities. Preparation leads you to prompt action on your highest value activities. And it's important for you to bear that in mind because unfortunately, too often, preparation is an end in itself. At the beginning of the year, paying for a gym subscription is preparation. It's not part of the action itself, right? Buying new shoes, new running shoes is preparation. Buying a new diary is preparation. The question is what happens beyond there? Preparation, it requires you to utilize today, right? It enables you to utilize today, but it has to lead to prompt action. And I always say, every time you set a goal where you are seated as you're setting the goal, there are always things you can do right now. There is always something you can do right now. What you can do right now might be describe that goal in detail, or tell somebody about that goal, or schedule a specific activity that you are sure to follow through. Write down a grading of your commitment. What level of commitment are you approaching this goal with? That is preparation that has gone beyond just passively preparing to taking prompt action right now. Because if the journey doesn't start right now, then there is a good chance it won't start later, because later you won't have the emotional intensity you have right now when you're setting the goal. The final thing I would give you about preparation is, and this shouldn't come to me or you as any surprise, preparation is a continual process. Preparation is a continual process. Too often, we want to start after we have finished preparing. That's because we want to have perfect preparation before performance. Perfect preparation leads to delays, it leads to procrastination. Perfect preparation almost always leads to procrastination. You don't have to prepare the whole manuscript for you to start writing it. You can start writing the introduction right now as you continue working on methods, as you continue working on the results and discussion. You don't have to have the whole book outlined before you to start writing the first chapter. You don't have to have the whole role of being a consultant outlined. You can start learning about listening. You can start learning about consulting models right now. You don't have to have learned the whole programming language for you to start writing the first code. Learn the first ingredients and start using them right now. So when we plug into anticipation, it allows us to pull a future possibility, a future reality, and make it a current possibility. So that current possibility then affects how we prepare, how we value the current moment, how we prepare in the present moment. That's why we are going through the 90-day breakthrough challenge and beginning to act on what we have already learned so that we are not waiting until we reach day 90 and then we celebrate, we have eating, I don't know what we will do when we get there, and then from there we start. No, we are preparing every day. It's a continual process, but we are taking prompt action right now. We are utilizing every moment. We are focusing on making optimum use of today. We are plugging into anticipation that what we are learning here is going to change our lives, but we are using that to value today, to raise the stakes right now, to realize that that future reality, the emotion and the energy of that future reality is possible today. And the more possible it is today, the higher the level of energy we will operate at. I am very happy about what we have ended up learning from each other in the course of this week, and very eager to see what remains in the remaining 2 days. All through November, I will be here every day, because it's another level of commitment that I decided to plug into, and very happy that I'm doing this with you every day. Then in December, we will see, we might have some days off some of the weekends. But for December, October, November, we are here every day. And I am very excited about what remains for us to cover the rest of November rather. And so that in December, we will now focus, really focus deeply on delving into the goals, into the actual goals. If you do the work of December, and create the structure of your days that we create, just follow through with 60% of the structure we create, and follow through over the upcoming 6 months, the first 6 months of 2021. You wouldn't need anybody to tell you that, oh, this we can't recognize how you're showing up with how we knew you from last year. And that's a commitment I have for myself. By the time I leave this city and go to another city to start specializing in cardiology, I want to be introduced to myself. And that's why I'm committed to learning this at the deepest possible level that I can learn it. And that's why I came to this country. I came to this country so that eventually I will be a physician, but I want to be able to do coaching at a level that I would never have been able to do it. So that will be it for today. Go ahead and utilize this day, utilize tomorrow, utilize the weekend with anticipation, and bear in mind the two of them together, anticipation and preparation. I anticipate that future reality as a current possibility, and I am preparing to utilize today at the highest level I can so that I can get to that future reality. Now I'm going to open the floor for very brief reflections from all of us before we close the session. Please put your mute button close by so that when I call you, we move very quickly. We'll start off with James. What are your key takeaways or reflection from today? Start on with James. Let's move on to Judith as we wait for James to come back. Judith?
Sorry for taking long.
Okay.
So my takeaway today is I just realized like there's a lot just from learning to anticipate, and it is something that I will purpose to consciously anticipate on all that I'm doing and take time to prepare and make it easier for myself to achieve the goals by anticipating the end results.
Thank you, Judith. Rumbi?
My key takeaway is continuous improvement. Should focus maybe on breaking my big goal into something small so that it gives me more of a sense of identity, and it's something that I can actually do every day.
Thank you, Rumbi. Elena?
My key takeaway is having an identity-driven goal. I've been reflecting and having some difficulty with the overarching goal. I don't know, it's from a place of fear or whatnot, but I'm confident having it from an identity-driven perspective would be beneficial to me. Then the other thing I wanted to comment is that your commitment to showing up through this process, even despite your work commitments, it's inspiring. It really goes to show self-discipline and just having that self-respect and building that momentum. I hope to get there soon.
Thank you, Elena. Thank you. We are all headed there. To as long as every one of us commits on their own journey, we are headed there, and that's very kind of you to say that. Thank you, Diba.
Yeah, my takeaway from today's session is the realization that at the moment, I'm unable to really visualize my end result, to such an extent that it generates that those intense emotions and the level of energy that I would like to have. So I'm going to spend some time over this weekend to study my overarching goal, probably break it down and make it maybe make it clearer. And I'll also consider probably making it an identity-driven goal. Yeah, so that's what I've learned and realized after today's discussion.
Thank you, Diba. That's such an important insight, especially coming from you who joined us after we had done the goals segment. We had dealt with a little bit of that, where when we set a goal that creates in our mind an identity that is so far removed from how we see ourselves that we can actually stop ourselves, right? Stop ourselves. And so because of what you've said, I wanted to add that it's extremely important for you to begin to move towards identity-driven goals, right? But it's not just an identity, so that the identity shouldn't be so far removed from where you are. The reason why I loved James's goal and why I highlighted it for all of us to bear that in mind is the fact that it does not portray the eventual identity. It does not portray him as an oncologist who learns consistently, but rather, I am becoming you, that active process of possibility. There are some goals I have where you will hear the word, I am allowing myself. I am permitting, I have on my list of goals, I am permitting myself to make mistakes and learn from them. That is an actual goal that I have on my list. And that goal plugs into, I keep showing you guys, this is my vision, right? I live a meaningful life by doing my best to learn from all experiences, grow intentionally, and enrich every life I touch. Learning is extremely important to me, but learning happens most of the time when you reflect about what you've already done. The problem is that sometimes we hold ourselves back from even the experiences where we could learn. That's because we are so scared about mistakes. I have struggled with myself to allow myself to let mistakes happen when they will happen, not to walk into them, but to know that it's okay, that whatever mistake happens, I am going to be conscious enough to learn about that mistake. And so that, I'm just saying this to highlight that gap that can happen, that when you have a big goal, it creates in your mind an identity that is so far removed that you can end up sabotaging yourself. Have that goal, but when you break it down to possibility, identity-driven and movement-based, where you are moving, you're progressing, you're giving yourself permission to accept the reality that you are not where you want to go. And that's why you need to be clear so that you can start moving from this moment. So thank you, Diba. Patricia?
It's my first day.
Yes.
I enjoyed and I learned a lot. I think my key takeout is that being prepared will help me to identify opportunities, and not just any opportunity, but opportunities that lead or are aligned to my vision. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. James, are you back?
Uh, yes, I am here. So my key takeaway for today would be that clarity. Not, but my key takeaway would be the whole concept of preparation and its importance on when it comes to creating anticipation. And I think what comes to me right now is becoming clear on the emotion I feel once when I envision my overarching goal when it has come true. I want to become clear on that emotion, narrow down to what it is, so that I am able to pull it. I am able to pull it from that moment to this moment as clear as it can be. I am able to experience it fully without anything to the side. So that's really what I want to do from this moment.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you very much, James. Everyone, thank you for joining me today. Patricia, thank you for joining us. Rumbi, all the way from Zimbabwe. Judith from East Coast in the US, and the rest of the team from our homeland in East Africa. It's always a delight to link up with all of you here. Today, we expanded on the concept of anticipation and added the layer of preparation as components that make necessity practical in your life today. Go ahead and make the most use of today. This is Dr. Job Mogire from the House of Mastery, and I look forward to see you the next day in this journey of the 90-day breakthrough challenge.